Hey y'all, can we talk a little bit about Real Housewives of Potomac just a little piece more? Okay, great. So y'all know on the previous episode, the ladies went on a trip or whatnot. Towards the end of the episode on Sunday, Angel ended up giving more information about, some chick that lied on her about taking money from her husband or whatever the case is. And when I say that, I'm not Team Angel on that, because even, when I think about this situation, one, I felt like already Angel was doing enough to try to make it about her in my personal, right? When she first was over there talking to Kiana, she wasn't whispering or nothing. She was talking loud enough for people to want to inquire. Then when Wendy even asked her, because I think Wendy could have asked her that night, like, hey, what were you talking about at this particular time? When you and Jassi was over there, she could have politely said, girl, we wasn't talking about nothing. Just some weirdo, it ain't even nothing to be concerned about. This is a night for Jassi, and I want to just focus on that, right? Because first of all, she went over there and told Jassi, like, oh, well, I just feel like you got a big mouth or whatever, your punishment or whatever, you got a big mouth. And come to find out, the big mouth was because of the situation that happened, right? And it's so weird because if she came to you and confided in you and gave you the information, I'm just so confused. Like, she still did it on a one-on-one. Now, granted, the cameras were down, but we know the cameras don't really be down for real because they'll have like a little GoPro somewhere right there. And it is what it is, okay? But she went to you on a one-on-one and had a conversation with you one-on-one. Cameras down or not, it was a one-on-one and she didn't do it in front of the group. Therefore, giving you the opportunity to control the narrative before anybody else control the narrative, right? So that's that. Like, she wanted to talk about it. I personally feel she wanted to put it out there. When Wendy asked her, she could have politely shut her down and said, "This is about Jassi," but instead she continued to tell the story. So I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it is what it is. Not Jassi, but Angel. Angel feel like she over it. And at this point, I'm kind of in like at this point, it's kind of like I want her. Like, you could go, bye. If you leave, whatever, girl. But also at the same time, I don't know. I'm gonna still give her some chances as we watch the show. But right now, I am with her. Telling me some she's ready for this to wrap up. As far as the show, I've been like, I'm ready for you to just go ahead and wrap up this season, right? And if she returns, I wouldn't be upset if Angel returns for another season to show us something different. To actively show her getting to know these ladies. And you know what? I got a chance to watch the after show, which is why we're really here. And we're going to touch on the after show because there was a sit down that she had with somebody that we did not get a chance to see on the show. So we'll touch on that in a second. But before we get into that, Angel did come to social media. She wanted to put a post out. And let me make sure that I have this particular post up here that Angel put up. All right, guys. So this is what Angel had to say. She says the discourse around me and the shock that I would be happy on a trip where I've been constantly maligned is crazy, but really on brand. And I'm just trying to see. I'm just thinking, like, she feels like she was constantly maligned, right? Like, heavily criticized in a harmful way, being unfair, things were untrue, and I don't really get that. I'm sure she may have had a fairly decent time on the trip. May or may not have been glad to get the hell out the house. But by the end of the trip, it looked like she was wishing she was at home. And yeah, probably so if you constantly feel like you're being misunderstood. But now at this point, I am wondering, are there things that we are not seeing? Because there is a sit down that I keep saying Jassi, Lord. There is a sit down that Angel has with somebody, and we didn't even see that on the show. So what else are we not showing? Because I mean, she looks like these issues she's having, it doesn't make sense. Right. And I'm trying to figure out on this trip, how were you constantly maligned? I'm just like, I'm over here thinking, like, in what way, my love? I mean, the only thing that I could think of, and y'all fill in the blanks down below, was the filter issue. I feel like the filter issue was the biggest thing that I could think about. Gizelle trying to call you out about a filter when they all about use filters. Wendy laughing so hard like she not the filter queen. After that, I mean, I feel like you did it to yourself. You act like you were cool with the ladies that night. Everything was cool. You hugged Gizelle, all was good. But then you go into a room, you talk to K, and then you come back, and then you just got this whole different mood, and everybody is a bit confused about why you in this mood, right? You and Jassi get cool at some point, because Jassi didn't know how to take you because of Gizelle being messy. Let's be clear. Like, we just gonna have to be honest. Like, Gizelle was being messy when old girl pretty much said, well, hey, can Sharice come instead, right? Over Jassi. I think that, and as I'm looking at it now, I don't even think Angel was throwing shade towards Jassi in that moment. I think that Angel was just like, bring somebody else that I'm more comfortable with, because she's still having a hard time blending in with these ladies, right? But then also, I do question if she said that because, like, you knew that Jassi and Kiana was beefing. And that's another way for you to stick behind your girl and support your girl by not wanting a person on the trip that she won't want on the trip, which was Jassi, is what I'm wondering. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, she wanted Sharice to come, but she didn't necessarily say she did not want Jassi there. She just wanted Sharice there over Jassi. And some part of me understands it in that point of her wanting to be comfortable with more people she's familiar with, right? And being that, and maybe that would have been a different reaction for Angel, being that Sharice knows everybody, all the ladies. So maybe it would have been easier for her to, get to know other folks if Sharice was around potentially. I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts about that. Do y'all think we would have got a different outcome from Jassi? I keep saying Jassi, Jesus, Angel. Well, we have gotten a different outcome from Angel if Sharice would have been around. Let me know your thoughts on that. But also, that's the only thing that I could think of that really was a big deal, because she started to switch up on everybody else. And everybody else is just confused at this energy yet again. Like, you felt one way last night. We thought we were cool. We thought we were blending, having a good time. Switched up on us, right? You wasn't rocking with Jassi. Now Jassi is seeing that you cool people. And so she's sharing with you what she learned, right? And she still did it on a one-on-one instead of bringing you in front of everybody, in front of the whole group that's going to be digging all into your information. And you chose to expose, because if you still wanted it to be hidden for nobody to ask you about it, you would not have gone up there and told, oh girl, oh, you got a big mouth or whatever. Like, knowing people are going to start asking you about, well, why would you say that? Now she got a big mouth. It's not, the way of this group at this point, I would want to believe somewhat enough to know that they're going to ask you about that. So when Gizelle asked, what did you say? You wanted to make it about Jassi or something? And if that's the case, then you would not have said what you said. So then Wendy wants to know what was talked about. You tell her what was talked about, but you didn't have to tell her what was talked about. You could have said, as I said with Gizelle, we could say that for another day. We're going to focus on Jassi right now. Whatever. But instead, you chose to give us this whole story that actually to me didn't make sense, because it sounded like you was talking about one thing, whereas Jassi was talking about another. But either way, that's just where we are. But I don't know, y'all. Let me know how y'all feeling about Angel. I've been seeing a lot of comments of people saying she could leave. After she said she was ready to wrap it up, I get it, but I still be wanting to give her a chance, like, because I feel like we still not seeing her full self. And is it bad that I slick want to see the Angel that was held on wheels just a little piece? I don't know why. Like, don't come out your character and do too much for me or for anybody, but I just don't feel like we're getting the real Angel. And I do feel like it's because Angel may be a bit intimidated in this space of ladies, whereas she's used to being the person that intimidates others. Does that make sense? That's what I think. And the roles have reversed, but I also just feel like with more time she might be able to, vibe with the ladies. We'll see. I wasn't expecting Stacy to fit right in. I'm not even gonna hold you, because Stacy I don't know, she just seems so different. She do give a little bit of Kenya Moore vibes, just a little bit, but at the same time, I was thinking that Stacy would be the awkward ball out, but Stacy is funny. Stacy is cool. I'm liking Stacy. Stacy is holding her own, and Tia ain't too far from a Stacy, just a little bit. They're both funny. They can hold their own, and I'm liking it. And I still feel like I still want us to pull it out of Angel. I still want to see that. If Angel were to leave this show, do you think, or even if Kiana were to leave the show, because Kiana was also like, I'm over these bitches. Like, after they had Kiana crying on the boat, Kiana really was like, done with y'all, high key. She was just like, girl, I could go. After she told Gizelle, noted, I know she wanted to fly on a private jet and get the hell up out of there, right? on some Lisa Barlow type stuff. But let me know if any of these two ladies were to leave the show next year. Do you want to see new people, or would you rather them reach back and grab someone else? Of course, I do believe Karen may show up, child, at some point before the season is over with. I actually wouldn't mind it. I kind of want to see it, right? And maybe Karen will still sit at the reunion a little piece, depending on when she may come in. I don't know. Do you think those two positions, should they be snatched back, go to Monique as well as going to Karen? Do you think we should get some new people, since, Monique may be good with the friend role that she has, where and Karen may be good with where she is, because it's giving Karen may be a friend too, not sure. But this season, because she's not gonna be around a lot, it may be giving friend of the show. So what would y'all like to see if these two ladies leave, or would you like for them to reach back to somebody else that's not on the show, that was on the show, to come forward? Let me know your thoughts on that. But in the meantime, in between time, child, we gotta go over here because I spent too much time on that. I want to get into this after show, because when I tell y'all the looks were looking, I think that everybody looked great. Like, to me personally, I think all the ladies looked beautiful. I love the color schemes, love the background. I said, oh yeah. Now, out of the ladies that really ate up their looks, and I would say the top three for me would be Jassi, Wendy, Kiana. Those are the top three looks for me. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. As we speak on the looks, these ladies spent a significant amount of time speaking on the fashions of everybody, right? And Gizelle had the audacity to say that she believes Ashley had the best fashion, and that Wendy was upset because Wendy really wants that spot to be the best, to have the best fashion. And for me, I don't think Ashley has the. I think that you really be thinking you dressing, and your dressing is not too different than Giselle's. In all honesty, I don't think that Ashley is a fantastic dresser at all. Ashley may feel like she's improved with her dressing, and maybe she has, but not that much to me. Not that much to me. Now, when it comes to Wendy, Wendy does try her best to give us fashions, but the fashions don't always complement her body shape. And that's the problem for me at times with Wendy. Face and hair would be laid, attire not always the case, right? Who else? I mean, really, yeah. I mean, I just feel like Ashley is damn near close to Gizelle in fashions, right? Everybody feel like Gizelle got the worst fashions, but let's not act like Ashley has the best fashions herself. The only time Ashley really shows up with her fashions, sometimes in the confessional. It's a very low percentage, right? But then also, she more so shows up when it comes down time for the reunion. That's when she shows up. I'm like, okay, it's been plenty of times I've given Ashley her things for the reunion, right? Gizelle can continue to use some improvement in that area. Dr. Wendy always slays for the most part in that department. Um, so yeah, but I think as far as this season, I don't know. I feel like Jassi has done a better job. To me, even Jassi complimented herself. I say, you know what, girl, I can't even disagree with that. I like Jassi's fashions for the most part. It gives first lady presidential type of tease, and I like that for me. But y'all let me know who y'all think may have the best. Now, Kay and Angel was feeling like Stacey is the worst, and I said, now wait a minute now. Now Stacey is gonna give you a little 1-2 with a little outfit, a little piece of a dress, honey. Stacey will do that. Stacey will do. Stacey probably could do a better job. So Stacey probably would be down there with Gizelle and Ashley, right? But I mean, she could improve. Stacey can stand some room for improvement. But Stacey, I don't want you to be over the top. Like, don't you ain't gotta be over the top, girl. Just go get with whoever Karen got. Okay, whoever Karen working with, probably hire them if they got some time or whatever. But don't be trying to go over the top like Dr. Wendy. Okay, because some of these sit downs and stuff, and that Dr. Wendy be bringing to the front, it don't be making sense. But anywho, it is what it is. So the lady spent time talking about that. Jassi, at some point in the conversation, when I think Tia asked her about wanting kids, and she was over here talking, so girl, we've been hunching so much that child, I might be pregnant now. I hated that she wanted that pregnancy test, and that they went. I knew they were gonna go and get her a pregnancy test. She took it, came back. She was ready to share it with the ladies, and I'm kind of like, I would have did that. Like, they wouldn't have been a part of that special moment. Everybody is different. But Gizelle was so excited for her, you could tell. But I would not have, I would have just held that. I would have had to have that conversation. But she ended up not being pregnant. So she was able to continue to take a shot and drink up. So I guess that's good for her. Something she wants to be is pregnant. She's not right now. But at least, hey, I still feel like it's giving a little bit of congratulations that you get to still, you know what I'm saying? Drink what you want, hang out how you want, or whatever the case is. So it's still a little piece of a congrats that you not, but I understand that you do want to be. Okay. Tia talks about her first impressions, and she said she was excited to meet Stacy. Y'all know why? Because Gizelle had been talking all kind of SHI about Stacy and calling Stacy all kind of liars. And Tia tells us she ain't never met a liar, so she wanted to see what one looked like up close. Now, Stacy said Tia was all in her business. So when they were talking, Tia would say certain things. She'll be commenting on her life, and it'll make Stacy go like, girl, who the hell is you? I'm taken aback that you this involved in my life. And see, that's the only thing that I don't be liking sometimes when new people come on the show. Yes, they're going to ask questions. They want to get to know each other, but y'all asking questions. Like one thing Angel said, Angel did not like the fact that Jassi was looking up information on her, right? That's what she says. Like, oh, she looking up information on me or whatever, right? After somebody approached Jassi with information about Angel. But it's like, to me, that's not that much different than you inquiring about other people from this one damn friend that you have on the show. And they could give you a certain narrative about folks too, but at the end of the day, you still have to meet them for yourself. And that is something that Jassi was still willing and open to do, which is get to know you. And she still was going to do that, get to know you, until she heard from Gizelle that you didn't even want her there. Right? But who did say they didn't want her there was Kay. Kay did not want her there. Right? Kay didn't want her there. But it just seems that Angel wanted Sharice there over Jassi, right? Because she knew Sharice and not so much as Jassi, but she knew of Jassi. But yeah, to me, it's not that much different. Okay. But Wendy says that Angel, this is the part that I was talking about earlier, where there was a scene between her and another housewife that we didn't get a chance to see. Wendy said Angel, her husband, and I believe one of their kids came over to Wendy's home. They had a picnic. Bobby was vibing or whatever the case. I don't know if she brought her kids. I thought she brought her kids, but either way, her and her husband were there. Bobby was kicking it with Wendy's husband. Everything was good. She said Angel told her, girl, this is one of the realest conversations that I've had in this group. So was this recorded? Just like y'all filmed Stacy going over to Wendy's house, did y'all film Angel going over to Wendy's house? Because then Wendy says, imagine my surprise when she flipped it on me when we were at Kiana's house. Right? We were cool, and you just told me I gave you one of the realest conversations that I gave you, and then, or in this group, and then now you want to flip on me like I'm the problem. And my biggest thing is more so, I wish we could have saw more sit downs with her and other housewives. That's one. Two, Wendy, I feel like that's your fault. Just a little piece. Like, you wasn't wrong in what you said though, but you did call her out. So when you called her out in front of everybody, it did make her feel uncomfortable. You already saw that she was flip-floppy based on how she showed up in the store versus how she showed up at Kiana's house. So I don't know why you expected her not to flip on you when she ain't even been friends with you long enough. If she'll flip on a person she been cool with because, I feel away, but in her face I'm gonna act like I'm cool, right? Then what you think she gonna do with you? Your expectations too high. So Monique says, because Monique is back, I believe her episode may be coming up in the next week or a week after or whatever, and she is a part of these after shows, right? And they asked her what led her to come back to the show, and she said Ashley did. Monique said Ashley will always ask her about coming back, and she'll keep telling her like, "Girl, I'm not coming back to the show. Get up out of my face. I'm not coming back." But Ashley talking about something she was in her raving. And she could see Monique coming back to the show. I said, girl, go ahead. So Wendy says that the last time she saw Monique was with her binder. And Kiana said when she watched Monique with the binder, it made her feel like Monique is exciting. And I said, okay. I want you to keep that. I want you to remember that. You feel like Monique is exciting. Okay. Now, should Monique get exciting on you, I don't want you to say that. All right. And not exciting as far as fighting or anything like that. But one thing I do think that Monique will do is call you out if she needs to, right? And you could get very sensitive about that. So when Monique feels like what you saying don't make sense or she got to call you out or say this or that, then I hope you still feel like she's exciting, right? Now, after watching, Monique says that she had fear of returning back to the show. That's why. She said she didn't think that she'll be welcomed back after the incident. And there was a sit down. There's going to be a sneak peek of her and Ashley sitting down and talking. And she said after getting into that altercation on the show, it did lead her to this whole healing journey. And as much as I hated that it happened and how it happened and everything and why, if it is sad to say, but it's kind of like at least she found some healing. I don't think she's all the way there 100%, duh, but I'm like, you probably would have continued to stay in a marriage that you really wasn't happy in just for the facade of it all. So if it started on that, for you to have that journey to learn certain things about yourself, for you to evolve past whatever, then I mean, I guess kudos. And we're gonna see how that plays out for Monique on this show to see just how much she has grown. But yeah, she said she had a fear, and you should have had a fear. You should have had a fear, right, of returning back to the show. But I also think that one, it was about you being welcomed back, but not just welcomed back from the ladies, but also probably the network, because Monique did go around talking shit. And she just gonna have to stand in it and own it. And she probably will say, yeah, I talked a lot of shit about y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, I was in my feelings, bitch. I did talk shit. Fuck y'all. Okay, so you did talk. You talked a lot of cash money about the network once you left because you thought you found something better in Love and Marriage DC. Only for that first season, people to see you and not like you. But I was one that wasn't surprised because I already saw it. Okay, what do people like to say? I wasn't wrong. I was early. Oh, okay. But aside from that, she goes on, leaves Love and Marriage DC, then start talking cash money about Carlos. I feel like one thing Monique, I would think, has learned, right, is when you part ways with the company, it's okay to kind of give your truth. But if you might need them again in the future later on, don't dog them out too much, girl. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be unhappy because, I mean, everybody's not happy with all of their jobs. You just not. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, maybe just like, there were some things that I didn't necessarily like that, we'll talk about. I'm going to have a meeting with him or whatever, because you did all that other show and this and that. And I was treated like, and da 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 da. And then next thing you know, you're back on that other show for that other little chick. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, girl, just, it's okay. Because, us fans going to be trying to bring it up in your face every chance that we get. You ain't even have to drag no folks like that knowing you was going to be back over here. You know what I'm saying? And just stand in your stuff moving forward, okay? Just stand in it. It's all right, girl. And, she learned it, child. She learned. Ain't nobody perfect, okay? I know y'all want me to be up here dragging her down to the ground, but I'm not, okay? I did enough of that in season 5. I didn't care for her in that season and how she showed up, but I always tell y'all people can grow, right? People can, they can change, and I'm going to give her that opportunity to see what she brings. I mean, hell, I get that to Ashley Darby every season. Every season. Do she change? Hell no. So the least I could do is see what Monique finna do with it, right? Yeah, so she talked about that and how she had a fear of coming back because she was afraid of being welcome, whether she would be welcomed back into the group, right? And she did decide to give in, come on back, because she said that this would be a great way to test her growth and to see just how much she has grown. So, we shall see. I do think one of the biggest testers, in my opinion, would have been her and Candiace being on the show together. That's what's going to really test you. I can see her probably not rocking with Gizelle, but probably getting along with Gizelle better. But let's be clear. I feel like even during a time when she was on the show, even when she had issues with Gizelle, to me, she still wanted to be Gizelle's friend. Same way y'all talk about Wendy, it ain't much different than Monique. Even though Monique came down with a binder and tried to read her or whatever, I mean, Wendy ate Gizelle up too. Chewed up Gizelle, but at the same time, clearly still wanted to just be cool with her. To me, it ain't no different with Monique either. Right? So I don't see that like, oh, let me see. Because you never really had a lot of discourse with Gizelle. And the discourse that Monique had with Gizelle, to me, is common. Like, she gonna say something fly, you gonna say something fly, cool. But the biggest thing to Monique being on Real Housewives of Potomac was the assault and things that took place, right? The whole fight. And I feel like the only way to really test that is having her and Candiace on a show together just to see how much you've grown as far as that. Because Candiace will say things, that make a trigger, right? And I feel like that's one way that you would really learn that for real. But playing with these girls, like, I think it's gonna be a cakewalk. in my personal. They gonna try to have an issue with the Chris thing, but Monique, no, in my personal, she ain't got no leg to stand on for real. Even if she wanted to stand on that leg, you can't stand on that leg no more because that leg ain't your leg. Okay? You may be the kid's daddy, but that ain't your leg, girl. You can't control that, boo. But anywho, that's pretty much all that I have. All right. I just wanted to come and run my mouth a little piece on Real Housewives of Potomac. This cute after show. The ladies look great. Definitely wanted to touch on that and a little bit of Angel, and why I'm not on her side when it came to, the whole bachelorette party and her exposing more of her information and stuff. But a tiny part of me is still having a little hope for Angel to get it together before the season is over. But leave your thoughts and comments down below. I'm Jamie, that's me. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATL, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasted film, I can fill a pool, we gon' make them swim.